So today we will be discussing about transportation safety and economics. So starting with how is the current transportation in the Philippines affecting our safety and our economy? This is based on a study conducted by JICA in 2014 that our country has a great economic loss due to the congestion in Metro Manila, which cost us around 2.1 billion per day. And it is expected to increase to 6 billion daily in year 2030 if no intervention is effectively implemented. So another study also conducted in 2008, where a research paper entitled A Needs Assessment of Transport Planning and Traffic Management of Local Cities, The Case of the Philippines by one of the researchers is Lida San. It was conducted in 2010, where this table actually illustrates a self-ranking of cities of citywide issues. You can see in this table that the livelihood and employment issues are rated as the most serious issues being tackled by the city, while transport and traffic issues ranked sixth overall. This indicates that local cities still consider economic activities as their priority, which is understandable for growing regions. Like traffic and transport, however, are more critical in larger cities. So if you can observe in this table, for large cities, it is second place for the priorities. To some extent, medium sized cities consider transport and traffic as relatively lower. This one, it ranks sixth. Um, although this results varies in different cities. So here we have a data. Cities that consider transport and traffic as a high priority is manifested in 17 of 23 large cities, which is equivalent to 53% here. While 18 of 48 medium-sized cities, which is 37%, but only 5 of 25 small cities, covering 20%, considers transport and traffic as a higher priority. This only reflects that as cities get bigger, transport and traffic issues rise prominently in their list of problems. What is troubling, though, is that even in some medium sized cities, urban transport already begins to deteriorate. Furthermore, in their research, here's an overview of transport issues they have in the cities. So, ranking of the top 10, we have disorderly loading and unloading on streets as top 1. Then, 2, inadequate and or disorderly parking. 3, limited road capacity. 4, difficulty in funding projects. 5, increased use of automobiles. That is actually ranked 1 for large cities. So the rest of the top 10, we have the traffic congestion, disorderly movement in intersections, difficulty in right-of-way acquisitions, lack of ineffective public transport terminals, heavy trucks in urban centers. While if you can observe in the following ranks from 11 to the 20th, we have from 15 to rank 15 to 17, we have the dangerous crossing of pedestrians, air pollutions, and accidents, which is actually concerning our transportation safety. But what have been done for all of our um, transport modalities? What do we have currently? So let's start with the roads. So as this is based on the Transportation Sector Assessment Strategy and Roadmap in 2012 conducted by ADB. We have roads that carries 98% share of passenger and 58% share of cargo traffic. So we need link roads to other modes of transport, particularly improving roads to existing ports and airports, or roll on or roll off or your RORO nautical transport facilities. We have to improve that one. Another, law enforcement of the anti-truck overloading regulation has also contributed to the poor road conditions because our roads have significant designs as to the weight of of the vehicles that should be allowed to pass those roads. Remember that we have a road hierarchy. We have the national road, provincial road, even our bridges. If you can observe in San Juanico Bridge, before they can pass by, there is like an office on the right side if you're coming from Samar going to Leyte. On the right side of before entering the bridge, there is like an office there, um, being managed by the DPWH, which is under the Department of Equipment, I guess. So they weigh first those cargo trucks to determine the tons of the truck or the weight of the truck in tons, if it is possible, if the bridge, because the bridge has a specific design as to the weight of its vehicles that would pass by. So if it's maximum, the vehicle is not allowed to pass by the bridge. So that's one consideration, especially when you are designing. So that's one thing. So for the national road networks that are paved in year 2014 as the DPWH annual report, I guess during our previous discussion, I think the first topic, I think or the second one, I actually presented you the DPWH annual report. So this one is a bit late. So you can just try and look at the webpage of the DPWH to see the percentage of the national road network that is being paved. So this data that I have is from year 2014 because I just used this from the research paper that I am using. So if you can observe, it is increasing from 2010 to 2014. Um, in year 2014, we exceeded the targeted, similar to the bridge. In year 2014, it exceeded. We are only targeting 98.9%, but we exceeded to 99.42% of those bridges. While the percentage of projects completed within time and the budget, very obvious based on the data that we have. So we had an increase of percentage of projects completed within time and budget. This shall improve from the baseline values of 55% in 2010 to 60% in 2011, 70% in 2012, 80% in 2013, and 83% in 2015. And moving to the 2016, we have 85% and 100% in 2030. So that's a target timeline. So they should have 100% accomplishment in 2030. So in 2014, DPW's performance was 88% as against the target of 80%. So that is their report. While for the length of constructed expressways in kilometer, again, it has been exceeded. So for Tourism Road Infrastructure Program or the TRIP, convergence program for enhancing tourism access forged between the Department of Tourism and Department of Public Works and Highways anchored on the National Tourism Development Plan. I do remember when I was still working in DPWH, there are tourism roads that are being constructed in Samar area. So I guess we have accomplished a few of those. So we have again the hierarchy arrows. We have the national, the local, having a total of 468 um, length of road constructed in kilometers. Moving on to the air transport. So here are the current events in 2016, based on the Philippine Transport Infrastructure Development Framework Plan in 2014 conducted by NEDA, WB, Australian Aid, Manila, Cebu, Davao, and Iloilo. So here they have focused on three major cities in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So the overall, a number of key airports are now operating over capacity, including NAIA, Cebu, Mactan International, Bacolod, and Iloilo. If you're going to look at our current air transport, we have new airports constructed by the DOTR. This one is under the Build program, so you can just search for that one. That would be the latest. We have a few international airports that were constructed, and other repairs of existing airports as well. So we have here a concern of overlap of high passenger demand and high cargo volumes at some airport facilities, specifically in Iloilo. I once I think I attended the PICE convention in Iloilo, but I am quite unsure if I think we didn't um travel by air. I think we traveled using a water transport from Cebu going to Iloilo, but from Tacloban to Cebu, I think we did the um air transport. We had that one. Um, I haven't seen the current situation in Iloilo. I think they have improved that one. But as time goes by, since we are improving our transportation facilities, this is also in line with the services and tourism. It has a great impact in our economy, especially if you are, for example, if there are a lot of available flights for different places in our country. It would have been nice if you can travel anywhere you want, with comfortability and at an affordable cost. So they're improving as the current administration has been doing. We have that one under the Build program. So this data again in 2014 we have this. So the airports in Manila, Clark, Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, Calibo, and Palawan, we have this one. So the terminal capacity in million. So Manila we have 30. We have a 4 for Clarks, 4.5 for Cebu, 2 for Davao, 1.2 for Iloilo, zero point 0.7 for Calibo, and 0.35 for Palawan. I think most of this airports I've been to except for Iloilo. And yes, Palawan is similar to ours here in Tacloban, a bit small. I landed, I think, in Puerto Princesa. So the terminal capacity based on expansion. So they've expanded. Bohol and Bicol. I've been to Bohol, but I used water transport. So speaking of water transport, let's move on. So here is a data given in a domestic merchant fleet in 2012. So most of the water transport that is being carried is 60% for passenger service, while 28% is for cargo ships, 10% is for tankers and tugboats, and my mistake, 28% for cargo ships, 10% for tankers and tugboats, and 2% for other means of services for the water transport. So here in 2012, that 60% is composed of 8,112 vessels, where for passenger services composed mostly of motor bangkas. There are about 6,000 plus registered fishing vessels, An average age of passenger vessels are 18 to 20 years old, while cargo vessels have average age of 11 years old. There were 442 total importations from 2010 to 2012, mostly for cargo transport. There were 2,497 domestic operators, where 509 are corporate entities and 195 were single proprietors. Overall, they serve 14 primary routes and 102 secondary routes. So this is based in the Philippine maritime industry, prospects and challenges in 2013 and beyond, planning and policy conducted by Marina. Furthermore, in 2006, water transport carried 22.39 million passengers, which is 1.22% share of total, and 18.76 ton of freight, which is 42% of the total. So in 2012, domestic shipping posted 74 million tons of cargoes and 50 million passengers, while the seafarers' remittances is 4.8 billion US dollar as contributed to the Philippine economy. That big. So for the water transport, we have 12.57 billion gross earning, net income of 4.24 billion, and 7.11 billion. This is actually based on the 2013 financial performance of the Philippines. So this is not updated. If you want to look at, you can just search on the internet for the latest economic performance of the Philippines. So the shipping and trade performance has these numbers. And most of our major gateways are already ISO certified. As far as vessel entrance and clearance is concerned, the country's ports serviced 362,994 vessels during the year, up by 1.82% compared to the 2013. So this is based on the PPA annual report of 2014. Philippine Ports Authority. So domestic ship calls, which largely accounted for the increase, posted a 2.13% growth, while foreign vessel traffic suffered a decline of 8.52%. Under the Road Ororo Terminal C system, or RRTS, 18 of the 32 identified routes are now served by 41 shipping companies deploying 129 vessels. 8 companies are also serving 15 Roro missionary routes, roll on, roll off. So we have that one. Because of our geographical characteristics, the water transport has a great effect in our economy. So, based on those data provided in the previous years, here are the issues that is needed to be addressed. So, first, the poor quality of the road network. Two, poor intermodal connectivity hampering ease of transfers. We have that. Lack of quality urban transport systems. And lastly, port and airport congestions. So based on the 2015 to 2016 ranking, so here are the infrastructure index. Quality of roads, we have the 97%. Quality of railroad infrastructure, 84%. Quality of air transport infrastructure, 98%. And quality of port infrastructure, 103%. And I guess this is increasing in terms of the newly constructed infrastructures for transportation. But in our case, I would be focusing on the road safety, since this is one big concern for us. Let me share. So here is the DPWH Highway Safety Design Standards. For the part one, we have the Road Safety Design Manual. So I want you to read the introduction part of this book. So here you are going to read about the land use and zoning, the road hierarchy, the route planning through existing communities, development control encroachment, access control, the TIA, and the just until chapter 7. So the rest for the road design parameters, you can have this one tackled. We are just going to tackle more on the safety planning. So I might be including some parts here in your comprehensive exam. Moving on to book 2, this is quite important. You should be familiar with the road signs and pavement markings manual. So I'll be uploading both of this book and I want you to familiarize those markings. I'll just cover the road signs. So it has a lot here. I just want you to be familiarized with the pictures. So that's it for transportation safety and economics.